What is up, everybody? It's your guy, Lord Walid. We're back to it with another banger. This one's been highly requested by one of you guys. It was Plus High Vision or Plushy Vision. Correct me if I pronounced your name if I pronounced your name right. You'll tell me, and if I pronounced it wrong, you'll correct me on that. Anyway, it'll be much appreciated from you, brother. And as for the request, you just have to ask, and I'll deliver it. And as you requested the reasons on why Roxanne Perez sucks, your wish shall be granted, my dear friend. Without any further ado, let's get started. 19 reasons why Roxanne Perez sucks. Reason number one, feels very weak and low energy on the mic. Because you'll notice in her promos, she'd be like, I'm Roxanne Perez. I am the prodigy. Oh, shut up. Shut up. You remind me of like a fusion of if Bailey and AJ Lee had a butt baby together. You took the degenerate look from AJ Lee, but the boring monotone thing from Bailey. Anyhow, reason number two, in my opinion, rushed in way too quickly for the main roster. Sure, I get it, she's young and all, but you could have brought people that are a bit more talented, like let's say JC Jane or Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix as an example, or who else on that roster? Even like I feel, in my opinion, Sol Ruka would have been a better one. She's like more competent in a way, as well as like an example Lola Vice or like who else? A Jada, for example. Those guys are ready to go. But no, because some flimsy meth head has to be pandered to, he brings out his quote unquote daughter, even though it's absurd. Look at it objectively, Marx. How can he be her her dad yet encouraging that kind of debauchery when he's not biologically her father? Think, use your brains. Anyhow, reason number three, boring theme song. I just don't get the what's the appealing of her about her theme song as well as their Titantron. It seems kind of like a bit of childish in my opinion. Maybe it is because I'm a bit too old fashioned, pay it no mind. Reason number four, one of my favorites, a CM cunt Fangirl. You know how I feel about this jackass. So you'll choose how we'll call him on this channel. We'll call him either CM See You Next Tuesday, either CM Penis, or CM Schmuck, or CM Junk, or like Flimsy Phil the Weak Old Meth Man, or like Mr. Debauchery by Excellence, or the Cult of Hypocrisy. You'll have many choices, and you'll let me know how we'll call this jackass. No, reason number five. She's okay with the degeneracy to be called the quote unquote daughter by AJ and Punk. Calling someone daughter and shit, and on the outside probably having some degeneracy and all. Look at what happened with Cora and Braun. They split up right after Punk came in. Look at it objectively. I mean, I know Braun deserves better than Cora, and he's smarter. Izzy is a better choice, but you'll have to look at it objectively. I hope you'll mature someday, both you and Cora, Roxanne. I hope both of you will mature and see how much of a piece of shit CM Punk really is. Because if I, random person on God's green earth, as a teenager, was able to see through that piece of shit, maybe before that, or as was around when was it when I saw through that piece of shit? It was slightly around the straight edge society thing. It was around there that I was able to see the light. I was like, ding, 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 ding. Wait a second, this guy's an absolute jackass. He has delusions of grandeur, even though his talent level is not commensurate. Anyhow, that's not about this jackass. The The sucks on this jackass, oh boy. Wait for it, Phil, because I'm not gonna be holding back on your bitch ass. Neither you, Stardust, or Cody Rhodes. I'm not gonna be holding back on you two jabronis. I'll probably be able to conjure up many reasons, except from the 19 ones. I'll probably be able to conjure up bonus reasons fairly easy. Anyhow, reason number 6, cheap AJ Lee ripoff. Comes off like a cheap AJ Lee lookalike, even though AJ Lee, if you look at her uh, by comparison with the other divas from back then, she looked like an underage girl, like a prepubescent teenager, compared to someone like a Layla or Oksana or whatever, who looked like women's back then. But AJ looked like someone who's like 14 or 16 at best, in all honesty. Now, another favorite of yours truly. What was it? Reason number 7, right. Contradictory nickname. Her nickname is the Prodigy, yet most of her matches on the main roster have been jobbing. If you're calling yourself a prodigy, you should be doing things that are amazing and out of this world, not jobbing constantly, winning like 2 matches out of 80. She's no longer than a Cody Rhodes back then. Anyhow, reason, what was it? Number 8, hangs around Judgment Game. If you hang around that group of losers, that's obviously a sucks. Because let's be honest, the only two that are, and I'll say maybe 3 that are cool ones and should be on their own are like Dominique, even though I did a sucks on him, but he's way better than that group of cuckolds. Should be like on his own, being like a, yeah, and like the chicken shit heel cuck that he is. But you're not gonna get much out of him because there's nothing to the guy, unfortunately. However, Liv and Raquel, in my opinion, are way too good to be hanging out with those dorks. In all honesty, if you look at it, because you get the look from Liv and Raquel as those type of ladies that were kind of cool ladies back in their high school days, and as for the rest, Finn, Dominic, JD, they'd be like those nerds who would hang out with their teachers talking about astrophysics during the break, while others would be talking about cars, women's, movies, or something like that. Anyhow, you'll get what I'm trying to say. And now, to make things even worse, you add Roxanne, who has no reason to be there, no connection, no anything. There it is. Random nose man. Reason number 9. Seems like a boring person and makes Lyra more enjoyable. You already know how Lyra is kinda dry, but if you watch them by comparison, you'd be like, I'd rather have a Lyra than this jackass, than this immature jackass. Now, reason number 10. The way she dresses as well as the makeup. I mean, I don't have anything against her style in particular, but the makeup, in my opinion, is the WWE makeup team should get fixed because instead of making your divas attractive, you make them either look like cheap prostitutes or like transvestites. It depends on the case, or like you make them like drag queens. So WWE, fix your shit again. Reason number 11 was it? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. Reason number 11. Got exposed after defeating Mandy Rose. Shouldn't have gone over Mandy Rose because, in all honesty, sure, Mandy is a bit older, but the fact that you have someone like Mandy who didn't spend time on the indies and blah 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 and all was able to understand the fundamentals, yet Roxanne spent time on the indies, trained under Booker T, mind you, who's a very talented man, yet still didn't learn shit? Lady, there's something wrong with you. If I, or any one of us as fans, we're not trained by Booker T or anyone, we understand those fundamentals. If you get trained by them and you still can't understand them, ding ding ding, there's something wrong with you, lady. Now, reason number 12. Way too much of an ego for the level of talent. Much like CM Punk, The ego is a bit too much as the character. I'm talking about the character, not the person. Maybe she's a nice person deep down inside. I don't know. But as an advice to you, the person that is playing Roxanne Perez, mature up and see that and open your eyes and don't think of it as a fangirl. Realize how much of a piece of shit Punk is. Because if me as a teenager was able to realize it, you should be able to. And any person should in this world. I mean, you'll notice in her promos, like the arrogance and the delusions of grandeur, even though most of the NXT roster, the female ones, are way better. Prime examples, as I illustrated previously, a Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix, who else? Mandy Rose back then, JC Jane, even Gigi Dolin, for example. Who else? Shotzi is better. Who else? Jada, as I said it previously. Lola Vice. Even she makes Lyra tolerable, and Lyra's she, even though I'll hand it to her, she's a pretty good looking woman, but charisma and all, Lyra, you need to improve your shit, lady. Or like, have some things you're good and improvise for them. It's available to all of you ladies and the men's as well. Not a misogynist or anything or not sexist. Reason number 14. Yes, 14. Lame, very cringe. You'll tell if you were to hang out or like see her character, the first impression that would come to you in mind is like, hmm, how can that lady be so cringe? Being like a mixture of a Bailey on the in terms of being so monotone on the mic and being contradictory like AJ Lee. Which is it, dimwit? Either you're a cheap ass AJ Lee or you're a Bailey ripoff. You can't be both. It's like Cody Rhodes as an example. Which is it, you cuck? Are you a serious gentleman, refined type guy, or are you a vagabond degenerate with neck tattoos and blonde hair? You cannot make both things coexist. And same thing for you, Phil, you jackass. Either you're a babyface or you're an arrogant person. You cannot be both. Dimwits. Now we'll move on to. No, it was reason number 13, my bad. Reason number 14. Lame ass finisher. If you look at the finishers back then, like let's say just the Lacey Evans as an example, or like Mandy Rose, or like Alexa Bliss, or anyone of that caliber, their finishers are actually not that bad. But Roxanne's one comes off to me as a lame ass thing that like a child should be able to do. Reason number 15, yes, the chicken nuggies segment felt very forced and very cringe. Because if you look at it, whether it is either Rhea, who looks like a transsexual, or like Liv, who actually tries to look like a woman, even though a slutty one, but she tries, I'll give her credit. And even Roxanne, even though cheap ass AJ Lee, but a prostituted version of it. Anyhow, you could tell, in all honesty, those ladies are leagues above someone like a Dominic. I know Dominic is married and all. I know. Even his wife, what was her name again? Marie Juliette or something? She's way too good for him. If you look at him, he's like, I'm tasting pussy. Anyway, and it felt very cringe, especially when being brought up by Finn Balor of all people. What the fuck? Now, reason number 16, yes. Learned absolutely zero, while sadly spent time to train under Booker T. Lady, there's something wrong with you. If I was at Booker T's school, I'd be like, sir, I do my work like, let's say I have a character as an impersonator or like some sort of arrogant snobbish heel. I'll act as such. And when like discussing and all, sir, is there like some sort of a thing you think I should improve on or something as a bit of advice if you could give me to it, it'll be much appreciated. Blah. blah blah blah. With Booker T's vast knowledge, you could create a perfect wrestler. If you aren't able, I'm sure maybe you'll need to mature maybe, but during the time you spent training, you should have been able to capture those things. Anyhow, reason number 17. It's a axiomatic guess, but seems like someone that has no charisma. If you were to see her around, you'd be like, she's just a regular chick. I see plenty of those. You wouldn't be like amazed if you were to see her like you were back when. If you were to see like a Lita or like Trish or like who else? That was a very attractive lady back then. Who else? Like Dawn Marie, as an example, or like a Candice Michelle. You'd be like, she needs the vitamin D. Oh yeah, and you'll be like intimidated by the presence. But with Roxanne, you'd feel like, I can have my shot. I'll play my game fairly easy. I'll be able to. Reason number 18. It's been illustrated a bit before, but in the cringe part as well as the what else? What reason? The contradictory nickname, and the monotone promo skills. You could tell that she's a very boring type of person. She's like, I'm so happy to be there. I'm Rocky. Even though you could have wrote it as a diminutive to Roxanne, it would have made more sense. Much like The Rock, Rocky, as a nickname, if you will, Rocky. You should have done ROXXY or XIE instead of the Roxy. It's contradictory, you dimwit. Now, final reason number 19. Her tires, in my opinion, are a bit way too childish if you look at it. Because if you think about it, how we remember the wrestlers back then is because of their unique style, like as their wrestling gear. Like let's say they're playing a segment and all, they could be dressed like whatever, sure, but the attire and all and the character, you stick to it. As an example to that, if you were to think of jean shorts, t-shirts, hat and wristbands, ding ding ding, obviously you'd get a John Cena. Trunks and like what else? A tall, good looking person, Randy Orton, like a luchador, Rey Mysterio, etc. But with her, you feel like just like her attires are a bit contradictory if you look at it objectively. Anyhow, and this video has resumed the 19 reasons why I think Roxanne Perez sucks. And in all honesty, I think she can be saved. In all honesty, and how you'd repackage her? You could repackage her as some sort of a type of a. I'll think about it later on. Anyhow, and that's for you, my man. WS Sports Fan 53. You wanted the rant on Logan Paul? I'll do it for you. How about tomorrow? Is that good enough for you? Is that good for you, my friend? I'll do it with pleasure, and I'll conjure up a good thumbnail, even though I have many points to illustrate why those fans shouldn't be hating on Logan Paul. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. If you aren't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe today! And I hope I'll see you next time, people. Take care of yourselves. Much love. See you next time.